This way we'll roll down our backs and follow animal tracks.
Well, when I was at Unity College in the Primitive Skills Club, I basically changed my whole outlook on life. Instead of seeing the woods as a different part of the campus, I started integrating it into my activities and in my education. I learned a lot of new skills and met a bunch of great people, and I definitely, it was just showing a completely different outlook on life and education and how to learn. The Primitive Skills Club was mostly, I think, supported by the Maine Primitive Skills School. Mike Douglas, the founder of the Primitive Skills School, was a mentor for a lot of the people that started the club and a lot of people that are continuing taking leadership positions in the club. And I think that the Maine Primitive Skills School staff also helped a lot in making classes affordable so people could expand on their skill sets. I would recommend all Unity College students to join the Primitive Skills Club and expand their world and be on campus in the woods rather than on campus in a building. And yeah, I would say do it. Make a fire, sleep in the woods, and get out there.
My name's Anthony Pono. I've been going to Unity for 2 years, and the Primitive Skills Club was immensely beneficial. It gave me direction in life, showed me my interests, gave me a deeper connection with the land. It connected everything I did together with everything else I did.
Explain.
Help!
I like the Unity College Primitive Skills Club because it allows me to actually be me, and I feel like I don't get to do that in the classroom. It really resonates with who I am, and I get to enjoy my passions, and it's just really allowed me to come out of my shell and learn so much about my landscape and environment I'm in that I never got to learn sitting in a box.
Nice.
Listening to someone just go on and on. So I'm actually out there engaging in the landscape and learning hands-on. Wildlife major, tracking has helped a lot. It's come in handy a lot in classes, actually. I had some experience that the other students didn't get because they were just sitting inside looking at pictures. They weren't actually out tracking. So that's helped this amount with the wildlife aspect. And also plant identification has helped a lot. I had dendrology and some of the things I learned about plants medicinally. I remember those plants because they had a medicinal purpose. And other than that's just whatever.
Awesome.
You need to learn it for your test. The Maine Primitive Skills School in Augusta has been the biggest support ever. And I feel like I've learned more there than I have in most of my years in high school and college.
Wow.
It's really interesting because we embody plenty of different kinds of learning styles, and really, at the end of the day, it's all just about having fun in the woods. We're trying to just give kids the opportunity to just be relaxed and not worry about their studies, but still learn these skills and relax in a more calm environment. Primitive Skills is one of those things that it creates a great foundation for getting you a connection to the wilderness. Because you go out with like your native awareness tactics while on a botany walk with your teacher, and you're like, wow, I'm actually seeing all these plants because I've learned these skills, and I'm now actually like understanding how the landscape is moving, and I'm learning from a botanist the actual like scientific names behind these plants, and it's all coming together in my head. I would say our biggest support for our club especially is the Maine Primitive Skills School, which is located in Augusta. The instructors are really nice. They give us discounts for classes, and they really do everything they can to make sure that we're getting the proper education.
In the interest of honest disclosure, I was one of the 2 founding members of the Primitive Skills Club at Unity College. So make of that what you will. But that club has the ability to build bridges among demographics there that have a self-perpetuating paradigm of division at this point in time. There's a sense of hippies versus hunters, of rednecks versus tree huggers, and it splits the college in half. A house divided cannot stand, and Unity College is a house divided at this point. And we need, if we want the college to thrive, it needs organizations that build bridges instead of destroying them. And the Primitive Skills Club draws people from all walks of life. It draws the hunters because we study tracking. We study real hunting. Instead of sitting in your scentlock camo in a deer stand staring at a salt lick, that's not real hunting. Real hunting is knowing the herd, knowing the weakest members of the herds that you can selectively harvest in a way that makes the deer population stronger. It's stalking so close that you can touch a deer. One of our first students in the club in the first year got so engaged in that mindset that he spent every day out practicing primitive skills and stalking in the woods, to the point where he was sleeping in a debris hut every night, and he was touching deer on a weekly basis. He was walking up to the deer and petting them on their back. He came to the club with the intention of shooting them, and by the time he left, he was reworking that entire model to the point where he was building his own bows and arrows and wanted to approach hunting in an entirely different way that was much more based in environmental ethics, in a caretaker mentality, and in a genuine connection to the landscape. This is what the club offers, that level of connectivity to the landscape directly around the college. It is an application of deep ecology. This is place-based education in its truest form. The college has this mission statement, and every single point of it is best served by participation in the club's events. It is truly training leaders. The people who go through that program become self-empowered. They're immediately out leading workshops, leading the community, because there's such a dire need for this skill set. It's this enormous craving that people have because it's hardwired into their minds. And they're seeking this out in a way that can't be filled with Facebook. It can't be filled with all the things that our media tries to throw at them and sell them to fill that niche. It requires true connection with the landscape and a sense of a tribal community. And that's what the Primitive Skills Club offers. That engagement with your landscape in a tribal setting that builds connectivity and relationships with people involved and the landscape itself. There's nothing better suited to meet the needs that the college is trying to meet than the Primitive Skills Club at the college. The club gives a context to everything else you're doing. Our modern, I got a biology degree in education, and I love biology, I love the study of life, but our modern context of studying biology emphasizes the micro and abandons the macro. There are some physiology and some ecology classes that are taught, but it's still primarily this paradigm of microbiology, which is exquisitely boring. Without the broader context of understanding why cell function is such a beautiful thing, then what is the purpose in learning how many ATP are produced in respiration? There is none. The Primitive Skills Club gives a context where all of a sudden you're understanding that the sun is providing every single bit of energy on this planet, and that photosynthesis is not some dry process that you're being forced to study, but it's the way that energy enters our biosphere, and all of a sudden it becomes one of the most all-consuming things you could possibly study. And you're out working with these trees, you're understanding what the different photosynthetic patterns are, what a C3, C4, what a CAMS plant is. All of a sudden you're gaining a context to understand the ecological niches of the things that you're studying in class. What we need is that synthesis of true understanding and a spiritual connection to the landscape, where I look at a tree now and I'm seeing the process of it taking in CO2 and producing oxygen. I'm seeing that is a direct link to my heart. It is what is keeping me alive. And that's not offered in the classroom. It's offered out in the woods. But the classroom context complements it so well that when I studied ecology and I was doing population samples on all these different sorts of birch polypores, I was going out and understanding these trees in several different levels that synthesize into making, in the same way that we seek to create whole human beings, the synthesis of a reality-based education around the interconnections between the landscape and the classroom education you gain at Unity College creates a whole education. This is what builds someone into a person who truly understands what's going on in the world. Is there any specific entity that helped the growth and process that the Unity College Primitive Skills Club was trying to work through? Yes. Maine Primitive Skills School. that place was somewhere that we could go with our more advanced students or the students who were interested in becoming more advanced within the club to offer them a context of what they could be moving into. So the skills club at the college is usually intro level stuff with a few areas that we move into some slightly more advanced stuff. But just by virtue of the ages of the people in a college club, we aren't able to offer the same level of expertise as someone who has 30, 40 years of training in the wilderness. Some of the instructors at the skills school have walked barefoot from ocean to ocean in the U.S. and survived. They've spent years and years in ashrams studying spiritual techniques, studying martial arts techniques. These people have real grounded experience in survival skills. And the wisdom that they were able to offer the people who were coming to the school from the club was invaluable in terms of a direction that they could see to move forward in. Primitive skills can seem like a hobby. It can seem like something that you do on the weekend. So having people who were living this lifestyle in a way that was shaping their entire world, and people who were exhibiting what this skill set evolves into over the course of a period of time, was a necessary component to building a learning environment and a tribal community that was holistic. Instead of just being a bunch of primarily young white kids in a college who were playing in the woods on afternoons or the weekends, we were able to say, this is our tribe. This is what we're moving up into. This is what we're capable of becoming if we choose to invest long term in these skill sets. These meditation practices, these spiritual practices, these introducing of herbs and wild edibles into your day-to-day life. This is what it looks like when all of a sudden 70% of your diet is based in wild edible foods, as some of the instructors at the skill school. This is what it looks like when you get up every morning and practice tracking to the point where you understand track erosion in a number of different substrates that are common to this ecosystem. This is what it looks like when someone has lived in a primitive shelter for years at a time, and then what they can offer you in terms of insight into what you're doing at that point in time. So the value that was gained from our relationship with that school during my time at the club was one of the strongest parts of the club, in my opinion. And we had guest instructors coming up to offer workshops at the college, which was amazing. We were going down there probably every weekend, every other weekend. That was profound. So absolutely. Also, the main primitive gathering was a great place to get people plugged in. There's different skills practitioners from all over the New England region who come and show off what they've got. The Delta Institute, which used to be in Bowdoin and is now located over in Western Maine, was another phenomenal resource. Arthur Haynes. Yeah, that's about it.